The shocking decision that left the music world in silence came from someone long regarded as the symbol of BTS's vitality. Jungkook, the golden magne known for dedication and perfection on stage, finally revealed the reason behind his controversial move to leave the group that made his name. The most fundamental question immediately arose. What drove Jungkook to make such a huge decision? And is the public ready to hear the real answer? The entertainment world was shaken not only by the news of Jungkook's departure, but also by the rare honesty shown by a world-class idol. When this issue broke out, the first reaction of ARMY worldwide was tears, not only because of losing the figure they loved, but also because the reason behind it felt more painful than they had ever imagined. Why did Jungkook feel he had to leave BTS when his popularity was at its peak? Is this about internal pressure, hidden conflict, or is there another, darker factor that has never been revealed to the public before? The fact that Jungkook decided to speak openly only made the situation more complicated. His words, short, dense, and emotionally charged, left many stunned. He did not give a long, calming narrative, but sharp sentences that instead left many question marks. ARMY cried not only because of loss, but also because of the sudden emotional distance created between them and the figure they always felt close to. How could a Jungkook, known for his strength, passion, and giving his all on stage, now speak in a tone that sounded as if he was giving everything up? In his statement, Jungkook hinted that there were dynamics behind the scenes never known to the public. His words were like a door opened slightly, revealing the dark side of the entertainment industry rarely spoken of honestly. No one expected that behind the spotlight, the cheers of thousands of fans, and global success, there was a burden that made an artist feel alienated from himself. Is this a subtle protest against a restrictive system, or a personal decision driven by the desire to rediscover the meaning of life? Public reaction immediately split into two major poles. On one side, there were ARMY who felt betrayed by this sudden decision, as if Jungkook had left them without warning. But on the other side, there was also a huge wave of support, with emotional messages flooding social media, reminding that Jungkook is a human being entitled to take control of his own life. Yet one undeniable fact remained. The tears falling from fans' eyes worldwide reflected a collective wound so deep, a wound born from the shock of hearing the reason from their idol's own mouth. What made the situation even more mysterious was that Jungkook never mentioned anyone's name, never blamed a certain party, and never gave detailed clarity. It was precisely this incompleteness that made his statement even more painful. He spoke of feeling trapped, losing direction, and forced to choose his own path, but without saying what or who had put him in that position. Those words were like a time bomb, leaving the public to speculate while the full truth remained tightly locked. Does this signify internal tension within the group that had long been concealed to protect its image? Or is this the result of external pressure from the industry or from endless public expectations? There is no definite answer, and that is what makes this story even more dramatic. In the midst of silence, the public could only guess, while Jungkook himself seemed to choose silence after his words shook the entire community. At this point, the big question that arises is, why now? Why did Jungkook choose this moment to reveal his reason, when BTS is still considered a nearly unshakable global icon? Was there a particular event that triggered his decision? Many believe that there was long-term pressure that piled up until it finally reached a breaking point. That pressure could be personal conflict, artistic differences, or even mental conditions never truly understood by the outside world. It is undeniable that Jungkook's decision to leave BTS is not just an ordinary event in entertainment. This is a monumental incident that forces the public to question what really happens behind the scenes of the global music industry. All this time, fans only saw the glitter of success, grand stages, and cheerful smiles of the members. But with Jungkook's departure, it was as if the curtain had been slightly pulled back to reveal a side far more complex and dark. For ARMY, Jungkook's words felt like both betrayal and painful honesty. They felt loss, but could not turn away from the fact that their idol had finally dared to speak his heart. Here lies the greatest emotional dilemma. How to love someone whose decision hurts, yet at the same time understand that the decision comes from a deep human need? The tears flowing from the eyes of millions of fans worldwide are the real answer to that inner conflict. Now, the biggest question hanging is, what is Jungkook's next step? Will he pursue his own path as an independent artist, or choose to step away from entertainment entirely? And what about BTS? Can the group survive without the golden magne? Or will this decision be the beginning of a larger fracture? All these questions hang in the air, without definite answers, leaving only wilder speculation day by day. This event is not just a story of an artist leaving his group. It is a reflection of how fragile the balance is between popularity, expectation, and personal happiness. Jungkook has sounded a warning to the entire industry. Even at the peak of glory, the human side can collapse at any time. And this is the bitter reality that now must be accepted by ARMY, by BTS, and by the global music industry. Yet, behind all the commotion caused by Jungkook's departure, one fundamental question must be seriously considered. Is this event truly real, or merely a media fabrication deliberately created to attract public attention? Are we witnessing a fact that shakes the global entertainment industry, or only part of a grand narrative designed to immerse the audience in mass emotion? This question becomes increasingly relevant because in the modern entertainment world, the line between reality and manipulation often blurs, making it difficult for the public to distinguish between truth and illusion. We cannot ignore the fact that information about Jungkook spread through various platforms full of sensational content. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and other social media became the main channels for this issue to spread. But is it right to swallow whole every video clip, every short post, or every narrative polished with emotional words? Are we aware that most content on these platforms is created to gain attention, clicks, and interaction, not purely to convey truth? And if so, are we as viewers not being made into objects of an opinion game deliberately engineered? Here lies the necessity of skepticism. When news is so emotional, so dramatic, and so shocking, should we not be even more careful in questioning its validity? Was Jungkook's reason for leaving BTS truly revealed by himself, or is it only wild interpretation twisted by certain parties to create sensation? Who actually benefits if this issue continues to be debated and becomes a global conversation? The fans, or rather the media and the entertainment industry that profit from rising public attention? We must also ask, why only fragments of information appear while the full narrative seems hidden? Is that a communication strategy to control public reaction? Or is it because there is no real clarity behind this issue? And if Jungkook truly gave his reason, why is there no detailed clarity that can be concretely verified? Is not the absence of evidence a major gap for uncontrollable speculation? Many viewers are trapped in emotional waves, crying, angry, even feeling betrayed, yet few pause for a moment to analyze. Are they responding to reality, or merely reacting to a narrative deliberately constructed? Are we truly hearing Jungkook's real voice, or only social media interpretations exaggerating fragments of words to provoke emotion? Are ARMY's tears falling because of harsh reality, or because of an illusion sustained by the game of information? At this point, we must think deeper. Is the public deliberately left in uncertainty so they keep discussing this issue? Hasn't the global entertainment industry long relied on controversy as the engine of popularity? Are we sure that the news about Jungkook's reason for leaving BTS is not part of a bigger scenario, deliberately designed to maintain relevance, increase interaction, and reignite public discussion that had begun to fade? Truth is often obscured by the speed of information flow. The faster an issue spreads, the greater the potential distortion that comes with it. So we must ask, is it logical that such a huge decision as Jungkook leaving BTS is announced through fragmented, confusing news, without clear confirmation, without complete context, and without accountable sources? Is it not possible that we are being shown a drama deliberately packaged to look authentic, while behind it lie much larger interests? For ARMY, this dilemma is very heavy. They want to believe in their idol, but they must also face the fact that not all circulating information reflects truth. Thus another question arises, is the right attitude to fully believe, fully doubt, or instead place oneself in a critical position awaiting further evidence? Did Jungkook truly speak from the heart, or are the circulating words merely media manipulation? And if there is indeed a fundamental reason that made him leave, does the public have the right to know, or should it remain private and untouched? We must realize that in this context, crying alone is not enough. Emotion is important, but without critical awareness, emotion only makes the public victims of information games. So the next important question: are ARMY willing to step out of the circle of momentary emotions to view this issue from a broader perspective? Are they willing to admit the possibility that this issue could be a hoax, or at least an exaggerated fabrication for certain interests? And if so, are we not wasting energy debating something that may not even be real? We must also dare to raise provocative questions. Is it possible that Jungkook never intended to say what is now claimed as his reason for leaving BTS? Is it possible that the viral voices on TikTok, YouTube, or Twitter are merely cut, edited, or even created to create the illusion of truth? Is it possible that this entire issue is nothing more than a form of digital propaganda designed to test fan loyalty and create global commotion? If so, how should we respond? Do we become passive consumers who accept every piece of news without verification? Or do we become critical audiences who refuse to be deceived by unproven narratives? Are we willing to be part of a social experiment continually played by the global entertainment industry? Or will we begin demanding clarity, evidence, and transparency? In the end, it all comes back to our choice as viewers. We can drown in tears and drama, or we can uphold a critical stance that questions every detail. We can believe that Jungkook truly left because of painful personal reasons, or we can ask whether his departure is merely a shadow shaped by media narrative. And most importantly, we can choose to remain skeptical, because in a world full of confusing information, skepticism is not only wise, it is necessary. Let us ask ourselves, do we truly believe this news, or are we being deceived by an information game bigger than we can imagine?